Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do a low-cost luxury video where I show you one of the awesome finds I found at either TJ Maxx or Marshall's. So to get into it, the item I found today is the Pretty Little Planner Best Year Ever palette from Too Faced. And this was actually a big surprise to me. This is last year's holiday palette from Too Faced. So it retailed for $36. It's still available for purchase online, but I picked this up for $24.99 from Marshall's. And I was actually really surprised to see this. I was heading out of the store because I didn't really see anything I liked in all of the makeup area, and I was walking out of the store and I happened to go by the table where they had a bunch of the holiday items out, and I was just kind of looking through there, and this little thing was tucked behind quite a few other, like the advent calendars and stuff that they've got out. And so I was quite surprised to see that this Too Faced palette was at Marshall's, and I immediately snatched it and paid for it on the spot. It was really cute. The checkout guy who did my transaction, he took a pause to look at the palette and he's like, oh wow, that's a really great brand. As he was commenting about the brand, he looked up and he asked me what kind of highlighter I was wearing. He wasn't wearing any makeup at the time, but I thought it was really cute that he knew the brand and wanted to comment on my own makeup. So that was fun, a little interaction at the checkout. But anyway, getting into this. So this is a little planner, and it comes with a planner. There is an actual planner inside of this, and then a Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, one of the mini ones. And of course that is my HG mascara, so I am always happy to pick up another. But inside, so the outside packaging is super cute. Has a little gold tassel, a leather, probably pleather exterior. You zip it open. On the outside it says wake up, makeup, repeat. So definitely something I will use year round. And then inside there's just a little like card holder and mirror. And then the palette is actually here. And there's an actual planner in here. So, and little stickers. So I will probably just go get an insert that has for 2019, since this is a 2018. I know I will use this throughout the year. So getting into the makeup, here is the palette. And when you open it up, there are all of the colors. I wanted to quickly go through all of the shade names. They're pretty cute, and so I think it's worth a mention. Starting up on the upper left, Good Girl is a nice kind of cream ivory base color. Then next to that is Rise and Shine, which is a soft purple color with a kind of silvery shift to it. Then there is Why Not, which is a cream kind of satin shade. And then going to the next row is White Christmas, followed by Secret Santa. White Christmas, a kind of frosty white shade, and then Secret Santa is a matte pink shade. Then finally Silent Night, which is a silvery, dark kind of gunmetal shade with kind of a blue shift in there. Next row is Workshop, which is a copper shade with a shimmer. Then Coffee First, which is a light brown shade. Then Snooze You Lose, a deep brown shade, both mattes. Next row, As Good as Gold, a shimmer gold shade. Dollhouse, a shimmer plum shade. Wrap It Up, a matte plum shade. Next row, Break the Ice, which is a blue shade with kind of a green shift to it. Then Elfie Shelfie, which looks like a shimmery taupe shade. And then finally Booville, which is a deep plum matte shade. So very cute. I want to try this out, do a little look, and see how these shadows perform. And as I look at all of the colors in this palette, there's quite a few like brown colors and then a lot of pinks in here. So initially what screams out to me are like the pinks and kind of plum colors, but I think I'm gonna try and expand a little bit and go into some of these kind of copper and brown colors. So let me clip my hair back. And I'm gonna go into Coffee first as my transition shade. So there is no mirror on the actual palette, so I'm pulling out my big handheld. This is actually a little deeper than I was expecting. So I'm just going to blend that up a little to help soften the brown. But very pretty, very pigmented, much more so than I was expecting. I thought I'd have to build up quite a bit, but that was just a couple little taps in and a big payoff of color. Next, I'm going in to wrap it up, just to add a little bit of pinkiness into my crease, a little deeper, a little lower from where I put Coffee first. There we go. Not to make it too pink, but to bring that brown color on more of the pinky side. So next I'm gonna go into Snooze You Lose, which is this deep brown color, and I'm gonna put that on my outer crease. There we go. Very pretty with that. It's not as much of a color payoff as the other one, but it is very buildable, which I appreciate for a dark color like that. I don't necessarily want to have to be afraid of how much I'm putting down. I like it where when I dip in, I can see how much I'm putting and then gradually kind of build up my dark shadows instead of kind of barely dipping in and then you do a dot and I have to really blend that out. So I do like having darker shadows that are more buildable than something that is just super pigmented and I have to just spend a lot of time to really blend it out or almost blend it out to where I'm starting to erase a lot of the pigments. So I do like that. And next, to just deepen that crease a little more, I'm gonna go into Bouville, this kind of plummy shade. And I'm just gonna deepen the crease and drag that underneath my eye on my lower lash line. Clearly, Bouville is not extremely pigmented when you dip in initially and does take a little more building up to do, but again, I like that in my dark shadows so that I can really place the colors where I want them and then build it up in the specific areas as I go. So I like this a lot. And then on my brow bone, I'm going to put Good Girl. I am going to go into Workshop, this kind of copper color, and apply that all over my lid. We will see if I need how this goes on with just a dry brush before I look into putting any Fix Plus or having to wet the brush to make the color come on. So we'll see how it goes with just a dry brush. That goes on really well. So I don't think I'm going to wet it at all. I already have the Urban Decay Primer Potion on my eye, And this is going on really well without wetting the brush or anything like that. I'm so used to seeing eyeshadows nowadays where you have to wet it or use a special applicator, which I'm not a huge fan of. I barely use my beauty blenders because I don't like having to go wet the sponge, so I'm not a huge fan of having to wet my brushes in order for the color to pay off. So this going on without wetting or anything is spectacular. So there's that kind of coppery shade of Workshop. And then towards my inner corner, just on the inner third of my eye, I'm going to apply Good as Gold to just have the color pop a little bit more. That is even more pigmented. It's very pretty, nice shimmery gold color. So I'm just going to blend the edges a little bit more. And I'm going to bring the Good as Gold underneath as well to blend into the Bouville that I already put underneath. And then for just a little pop of color on my inner corner, I'm going to go into Rise and Shine right here and just put that on my inner corner. So here's the finished eye look. I think it looks really great. I'm gonna put on some mascara and liner and I will be right back. Okay, so I just put on a little bit of liner and my BTS mascara, keeping in with a full Too Faced look. I added the Too Faced Peach Matte Lipstick in Stop Traffic. I went with more of the wine colored red instead of the really bright red because I feel even for a holiday look, you need to have red lips. But since the look is so smoky, I wanted to pull over into the winey red instead of the really bright Christmassy red. But anyway, here is the final look. I really like the color payoff of this palette and how everything went on. I feel that the mattes were very, very blendable. And then the darker shadows, even though they weren't initially super pigmented, they were nicely buildable to where I could keep adding as I needed and then buff it out to put it in the spots that I wanted. And then the nice surprise after using the dark mattes was how well the shimmer shades applied. I barely had to tap into them. I didn't have to wet my brush or anything. They went on very nicely with a dry brush. I can just put it all over my lid and the color payoff was great. Didn't need to put a concealer or anything else like that down either to wet my lid. Just my regular primer was good enough to keep the shadows on. So overall, I am actually really happy with this kit. I'm so glad I found it at Marshall's. I would definitely recommend if you find this out at Marshall's or TJ Maxx that you pick it up. So I think with anything Too Faced, you're really not gonna go wrong. I would say definitely pick it up. It is worth it. The colors are great. They're blendable. And oh, the little planner that comes with it. And then the small sample of BTS, my absolute favorite, which I think I've hit the sweet spot with my current tube of Better Than Sex mascara. It's a little bit, I've had it for, been using it about a month now. So it's a little bit drier than when I first got it. I think about a month is when the BTS mascara really hits the sweet spot and is super buildable. You can see the length I've got going. So still my favorite mascara. But anyway, Again, if you find this out at TJ Maxx or Marshall's, definitely I would recommend picking it up. Let me know if you're able to find anything else in the comments below. And there are quite a few holiday sets out right now. So keep your eye out. Always make sure you're looking behind other items and in the clearance, because sometimes I've seen stuff randomly go on clearance and it's the first time I've ever seen it in the store. Anyway, thank you for watching and I will see you next time.